Welcome to my channel. I often test out the latest rackets, mostly player frames, just as a hobby. So I thought I'd start sharing my thoughts on them because I tend to record my sessions anyway. This is my first voiceover review, so if you like this format, please give me a comment down below. I've been injured for the last month and a half, so I haven't been able to play too much, but I was able to get my hands on the new Extreme Tour as well as the new E-Zone Tour. So if you find my movement a bit funny, it might be that, or it just might be because I have crappy footwork. If you could give me a thumbs up if you find this video helpful or interesting, and if you could subscribe, that would help me out a lot and allow me to make more videos. Also, I've just made an Instagram account where I'll be posting some of my previews on upcoming reviews, any tennis news on new rackets, and just stuff on my weekly tennis sessions. So if you'd like to follow me, my link is in the description. Anyway, let's get to it. In this video, I'll be reviewing my first impressions of the new Head Graphene 360 Plus Extreme Tour. So, this is a completely new mold, has a head size of 98 square inches, a 1619 pattern, comes in at 305 grams unstrung, and an RA of 65 or 62 to 63 strung. I think this racket is geared towards intermediate to advanced players with its thinner beam profile. The one I had was the one with the prototype paint job, measured in at 320 grams unstrung, which is about 3 grams under the average spec and seemed a little bit more headlight than it was supposed to be. It was strung with a full bed of Luxilon Alu Power Silver at around 50 pounds, and my strung specs came to about 325 grams with an overgrip and dampener, and a balance point of around 6 to 7 points headlight. Power level was, I'd say, around medium. It's not quite as high as the Pure Strike 1619, but definitely a lot for its swing weight at 318. My partner commented that I was hitting pace that was comparable to my Gravity Pro, which has quite a high swing weight in comparison. But I still found the Technofiber TF40 to have a little bit more power, but the trade-off being that the spin and launch angle was much lower, whereas the Extreme Tour had a great balance of spin and power. But just keep in mind that my racket was under spec, and I think some of the weight came off from the head of the racket, which probably contributed to a decrease in power that you'd probably find in a proper spec version. The amount of spin you could generate was definitely very high, probably not as much as you would with a Pure Aero or Pure Drive, but for the most part more than other player frames you typically find. So with stability, I felt that it was lacking a little bit, again probably due to the low swing weight, but anytime I was receiving some of the bigger pace shots, especially on return of serves, it would shake and twist a lot. So I did end up adding 4 grams to 3 and 9 o'clock and 2 grams to 12 o'clock, which definitely fixed the issue. Which brings us to maneuverability, as with even the added weight, which brought it up to 337 grams strung, I found that at stock and with the extra weight, it was both highly maneuverable. No issues with racket head speed whatsoever. but it does kind of add to my suspicions that the racket came a bit too headlight, as I didn't actually have to counterbalance at all, and it still stayed the same in terms of maneuverability. And so the static weight relates to the serving, because as mentioned, at 337 grams strung, I felt that serving with it lacked plow and power, even with the additional weight. And it's not something that I was willing to add more weight, because I generally like my specs to be around 330 to 340 grams static, but you could still feel the control come through on the racket. So whilst it lacked a lot of plow, I felt that control was still pretty good considering as a 16-19 racket. I do need to mention quickly that by the time I had the second day of my playtest, that the alloy power in my racket was likely dead by then, so it could have had quite a negative impact on my experience. When it does officially come out, I think I will buy it and try it with my own string setup, and some of my opinions may change over time. So in regards to feel and stiffness, it was definitely a very comfortable racket to hit with. Had no issues whatsoever, and given that the weather right now is damp and cold, I tend to have a sensitive wrist that acts up during winter time, and I found that the Extreme Tour was very pleasant to hit with. I would compare it to something along the lines of the Gravity line, even the Prestiges currently. Also, maybe a little bit more comfortable than the Technofiber, and definitely more than the E-Zone and the Pure Strike. So I found the sweet spot to be quite generous, maybe not as much as the Gravity line, but definitely had no problems with off-center shots or anything. Nothing was too jarring. So in summary, this racket is made for an intermediate to advanced player. Generally, I would consider this a platform frame, which you're looking to customize into your ideal spec. Maybe if you like heavy rackets, moving it up to the 345 to 350 range might actually bring out some very good qualities. At this stage of the playtest, I would say it's a good alternative to the Strike. Probably provides similar playing characteristics, but a much softer feel, and it's not as muted at all. However, in stock form it provides slightly less power and spin and much less stability, but if you beef up the swing weight, I could imagine that you may have a potentially better racket in comparison. Compared to the Blade 16-19, you're definitely going to get more free power and spin with a lot more maneuverability, but obviously much less stability. And compared to the E-Zone 2020, you'll probably get much more controllable power, similar levels of stability, and probably about the same size sweet spot. So that wraps up my review and first impressions of the Extreme Tour. I still have quite a few rackets to review, such as the E-Zone Tour, the TF40, Wilson Blade 1820, Prestige MP, and the Pure Strike. Still have a lot more to come, and I hope you liked the new format. Thanks for watching, hope to see you at my next video. Bye.